afternoon, and I just had a little technical difficulty, so I'm trying to get it back up. AKA, my babies walked into my office. But today's topic, we're going to be talking about scaling your business financial, without financial, without sacrificing your financial stability. So I'm so happy to talk about this. I feel like this is something that everyone's asking me about. So let's begin. I want to share a quick story about one of my clients. Her name is Lisa. She's a mompreneur. And Lisa came to me a few years ago with a thriving online business selling handmade baby products. And she had managed her business as a one-woman show for years. But demand started to grow beyond what she could handle alone. She knew she needed to scale, hire more staff, invest in inventory, and upgrade her website, but was worried about maintaining her cash flow and financial stability. So Lisa's primary fear that expanding too fast will leave her with piles of debt and possibly hurt her business in the long run. So as her accountant, we sat down together and we mapped out a financial strategy that would allow her to grow as a financial space. And we focused on accurate bookkeeping, clear budget projections, and knowing her break-even point before any major decisions. So Lisa also kept a close eye on cash flow and made incremental investments rather than jumping into debt for faster growth. So when we talk about your financial growth, it's also like a tree. Like you can grow a tree, but if you don't trim it a certain way, or if you don't feed it enough, the water that it needs, or give it enough lights that it has, the tree is going to, not grow where it needs to be. So that's the same thing as your business. Your business is going to need the things that she's trying to do, but she was afraid about cash flow. But cash flow grows as the business grows, and the increase and the input and the output also the same way. So the result was Lisa's business scaled up smoothly. She hired 2 employees and doubled her product line without sinking into financial instability. Today, her business is thriving, and she feels more confident knowing she's in control of both her growth and her finances. And Lisa has proved that you can scale without jeopardizing your financial health when you have a plan. The whole thing is having a plan and knowing what to be looking for when you're doing this. What are we looking for in our bookkeeping? If we're having accurate bookkeeping, what are the things we're going to look for? That's what the plan is. What are we looking for? What do we do? I know, I always tell people, what is your zero in your company? Your zero can't be zero. If it hits zero, then your company is going to cry and it's going to sink, right? So you have to determine that. That's the first part of the plan. Our zero would be probably 50,000. Whatever your zero is, 100,000. You want to make sure that you set that zero as well. That's part of our planning part. We also instead of doing budgeting, we actually also like to do profit planning, where you're planning your profits. You're planning it out already based on a budget, basically, but you're doing profit planning. We're looking at where we see yourself in a few years. Okay, we're going to hire 2 more employees. Do we have 6 months of their salary waiting just in case anything happens? So we're always hoping for the best, expecting the worst when we're doing our planning as well. So let's talk about how you can apply these lessons to your own business. First things first, number 1, you're going to know your financial baseline. You want to understand where your business stands financially. And this includes having accurate bookkeeping, understanding your profit margins, and knowing your break-even point. Next thing is number 2, cash flow is royalty, king or queen. Ensure that cash flow remains strong as you scale. So Lisa kept a close eye on hers by setting realistic goals and knowing when to invest in new resources. Like I said, I love profit first. I wish I could become a profit first professional, but maybe down the line, but I love it. I implemented it for myself. And we also partnered with banks like Relay that also loves profit first, and they have it already implemented in their system to use profit first. And that's one of the best things to use to check, to keep your cash flow on point. You can see your cash flow in real life just by looking at your bank account instead of going into QuickBooks and looking at the weird numbers and having to translate it or whatever. But at least when you set it up in a bank account like this, like Relay, I love Relay. We get 20 bank accounts for free. You can set it up where that dollar that comes in, you can separate it out easily, seamlessly. My accounts are set up where the money comes in and it goes into all the accounts it needs to go to, and we go in from there. So I love that. The next thing is invest incrementally. So instead of taking out large loans, consider gradual investments. This helps you grow at a pace your business can't support. So like when I talk about invest, you want to invest in one, maybe invest in somebody that can do grant writing, because as business owners we are able to get grants. So you probably want to have someone that can do grants for you. You want to also have money put aside. You probably want your company to invest in some investments out there so it can grow. You want to find out where you can put high yield savings, your money in. Like if you have money sitting in for taxes, you're probably going to want to put that money away in an account that's going to give you more money and interest throughout the year, while you're saving money away to pay your taxes every quarter, annually, whatever way you do it. But you want to start investing and thinking about in that strategy as well. And that's where it comes into, who do I hire to help me with that? Do you hire an accountant, or do you hire someone that's like more wealth management or financial? You want to have both. And it's always good I always say it's always good to have separate people, because we can come back, your team will come around and have a round table and we can talk about different things. And one person will focus on the accounting, the other person is going to focus on your wealth building and your financial, business or personal. So like we had Gabe last week, he's a wealth manager. He can help you and things like that, business and personal. So those are things you want to start thinking about when you're thinking about that. And that's a lot of things that in our community, moms, we don't think about that part. We just think about right now, how we're going to get to the next month or the next quarter or whatever, but we're not thinking about in the future. So I want all of us to think about that. Small business owners as well, we tend to not think that far ahead, and we need to start thinking that way, because when you start thinking that far ahead, money starts, building, and then you're able to passes on to the babies, your children, whoever you want this business to go to. If you don't even have any children, you probably still want this business to be your legacy. So when you pass on, you can still have this business like Peaches Richards and Sons and all these other companies. Like Walt Disney, he passed away, but he still has Disney World, and we're still sending our kids 100 years later and things like that. Also, like, that's what you want. You want to build an organization like Howard University, HU, like we're celebrating our 100th homecoming. So like things like that, you want to start doing that so your business can outlive you, right? So I love to hear from all of you. What's been your biggest challenge in scaling your business? Share your thoughts in the chat. I'll actually pull over real quick and see if we have any comments right now and everywhere. But just let me know where you're calling from with the name of your business, at your business right now. Tell us who your business is. Instagram, at your business. If you're on your personal, let us know what your business does, because I want to know. I want to know who I'm talking to and everything. But we do have some questions. Let me see if I can pop it up on here. Let's see if we have any questions. So we have a few questions that we want to talk about. I have one question that came in through our PM. How do I know if my business is financially ready to scale? Great question. The first step is to have an accurate picture of your financial health. So that means maintaining your accurate and up-to-date bookkeeping and knowing your cash flow and understanding your profit margins. You also want to calculate your break-even point to see how much you need to make from your new investments to cover costs or whatever. A simple thing is your business is ready to scale from the day you start your business, because the whole thing in this business is to grow, and you want to grow where it's not to the point where you are growing so fast where you start losing money because of the fact that you didn't prepare for the growth to happen. But you know how scale is, it's little by little, right? So you want to start scaling from day one. So you still want to have your bookkeeping up to date from day one you start your business. If today you're looking around and you've been in business for year 10 and you need this in order, you still want to get this in order. You still want to look at this and see where you want. I love bookkeeping and having records because I want to see where the bleed is. So if this is who you are, start today. Take a look, figure out how you're going to get your bookkeeping in order, how you're going to be able to monitor your cash flow, figure that out. If it's even setting up a new account with Relay Financial or whatever it is, or contacting your bank to see they can do the same thing we're telling you that we're able to do at Relay, do that. Or even if it's hopping on a consultation with me. Like, listen, if you book any discovery calls with me and you email me before the meeting, like usually our discovery calls booked like a week ahead. So if you were to like definitely like send me schedule a call, you can put down all your questions. Whatever email you get, send an email back with all your questions, and I will definitely answer all those questions for the time period that the discovery call is for. So you don't need to, you can get all the information you need and run with it. Or you can hire us to do it, or you can go to somewhere else, do what you have to do. But the data's out there, the information's out there, the people are out there to help you. So get the help. The next question is, what are some early signs that I'm scaling too fast? One of the biggest red flags is a dip in your cash flow, like I was saying, or difficulty managing everyday expenses. So if you're constantly struggling to pay your bills, payroll, or suppliers after expanding, it may mean you're growing too quickly. And another sign is taking on too much debt too fast without a clear return on investment. It's like if we're sailing in a boat, right? And all of a sudden there's a hole in the boat and the water is coming in really, really fast. It's the same thing with your business. Like, there's a hole, there's something happening. Why? Maybe when you take a look at your bookkeeping, you're going to realize that you haven't increased your prices in many, many years. So it's time to increase the prices because of the fact that you started hiring new people, you implemented new tools, and you implemented new, like whatever, technology. So you might need to change things. You might need to change a vendor or supplier. So prices might need to change. Like you might see, I didn't change my prices in like 4 or 5 years, and inflation is happening, elections are happening, things are happening. The economy is going crazy. So I need to figure this out. So that's another, way to figure how to get that out of the way and to fix it, right? The next thing is, what is the best way to finance growth without overextending my business? The best approach is to use incremental financing. So you want to start by reinvesting your profits rather relying heavy on loans. That is good. I'm not going to say that it's bad. But if you do need outside financing, make sure the terms are clear. It's not a high interest rate, and even if it is a high interest rate, maybe you can find a savings account with a better interest rate, so it can like negate yourself out, because then you can take whatever loan you did put it in a high yield savings account. Do something to that effect. Once again, like I said, reach out to a wealth manager, financial planner to help you with that part. I like to do, like, I know at my company, we are implementing reaching out to our colleges to get some interns to help us with certain things. We're reaching out to get grants because we do like helping. I do like helping small businesses. It's like a heavy heart for me. Like I said, I come from an entrepreneurial family, and I started my company really because of the fact that I realized my family members and everybody around me that were business owners were being treated at a disadvantage because of the fact that they just knew their numbers only when it came down to tax time. And then once it came down to tax time, they got this huge bill saying you owe $19,000-$20,000 because you made a profit last year. But that's all because they didn't have their bookkeeping in order. They didn't know the things to do during the time period and when they could do it. Like right now, it's October, so we have 2 more months left of the year. And if you realize you're making a profit, instead of you spending it or like paying yourself more, maybe you can put it into something else and reinvest it into something bigger or better for your company or whatever. Another thing, like I said, is reaching out. Like, we're also implementing grants. Like, we love, like I said, helping smaller companies, and we want to be able to provide our services, but it is a little bit expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I got 4 kids to take care of, but we're applying for grants. We're looking for different ways that we can finance our company, knowing the fact that I have that soft spot in my heart to help almost everyone I come in contact to that says, I need help with my finances or my bookkeeping, and they can't afford it. Like, I would definitely, do that. So that's the same thing. If you know what your weak points are in your business, figure out how to finance that part. Like, even if, for instance, I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were like, oh, we love to give out free services or do pro bono things like that. But what they created was like, you ever been to Starbucks? I don't know. And somebody like paid for your coffee, the car before you. They started implementing where they had clients give their money, like donate money to like a fund in their company to pay for like those services for people that, couldn't afford their services. So there other companies would like put a little bit of money away, like maybe like Roundup or something like that effect, like give $200, $300, $400, and it will go into that fund to provide services like that. So you want to look into different ways to like help your business grow financially without overextending. Just because you're want to increase your profit, like I said, does not mean you have to increase your fees. It could also mean getting rid of some expenses. It can also mean, like I said, like we're going to reach out to some interns and bring them on board to help us out with things like that. So it might be doing things a different way or looking at a different avenue on how to get things done. But like I said, this concludes basically what we're talking about. So remember, like scaling business doesn't have to mean sacrificing financial stability. Like with the right strategies, like Lisa, you can grow smart and stay secure, safe and secure, guys. But I'm definitely gonna see you next week. I'm sorry that I'm rushing through this right now. It's been a long day, and I'm just trying to make it through for the rest of the day. So have a good one, everyone. You know how to reach us. You can DM. If you don't know, you can send me a message. You can comment right under this live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. In the comments, I'll respond. I'm always like responding 2, 3 in the morning. You might get a response because, that's when mommy gets me time, unfortunately. But I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you're doing and how you're doing, how you're scaling your business. It'll be great to let us know what you're doing to scale your business and give each other some advice, in our community. Have a good one, guys. Bye.